Welcome back. It's time for another repair video. Today I'm working on yet another PS4 CUH1215, and I think supposedly the problem with this one is no video. And the first thing I noticed was the power button is missing. It's just physically missing, but I've got it connected. I'm going to fire it off, and I'll have to use it. I'm going to pretend a disc is going in. I'm going to flip the switch in here, and that should power it up. And I've already had this on, but I just wanted to show you. I decided I'd do a video on this one because I'm not sure what's going to be wrong with it yet. But it has no video. They didn't lie. The HDMI connector on the back feels solid. It's not wiggling. It doesn't feel like it's about to fall off or anything. But we never get any video. So let me turn this around. I was going to go through a few checks with you. Put my handy dandy HDMI breakout in here and get a meter and somehow grow a third hand. How am I going to do this? Well, maybe I can get it started. All right, 20 on this breakout connector is ground. And something I noticed, if I can contort myself, pin 18 should be plus 5 volts, and we have 0.72. That's not good. And these other pins that should be signals usually have some voltage on it when it's running, and there's like nothing really there. Like that's ground, that's normal, should be 0. But all these other signal pins, the differential pair signals, they don't. I have a feeling the filters are open or something because I'm not really getting anything. 13, I do have 3 volts there. I think that sounds normal. 14 is not connected. 15, I want to say that's usually like 3 volts also. 16.7, 17 is ground, but 18 should not be 0.7. It should be plus 5 volts, and 19, I think also is close to 5 volts. Can't recall, but 0 is not normal. So, and since the button is, there's no power button, I can't turn it off. So I'm just going to unplug it because I want to do some diode checks with, let's see, red probe on ground. Yeah, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, it's going to stay in the hole. Good. So, let's just go to pin 1. This should be one of the first differential pairs. And I normally would get like 0.5 there. Open. 2 is ground. That should be like 0.5 on pin 3. Nothing. 4 should be 0.5. Nothing. Let's go to 6. Nothing. 7. Anyway, you get the picture. All of these differential pairs are all wide open, which makes me think the filters are open. 13, nothing, that's weird. 14, 15, I don't know. Yeah, usually it is like 0.7. Because there's a diode. There's a zener across those. That's ground. Now that's really weird. The 1.65 on the plus 5 volts, something's going on there. And that one looks somewhat normal. Because a lot of these signal lines here have zener diodes reversed across them. So when you put red probe on ground and you go to that pin, you read the forward voltage of the zener diode, roughly 0.7 of a volt. So I'm not sure what we're going to find inside this thing. It could be interesting because I noticed that both screws are missing out of this thing. So that's where we are. Missing screws. Lots of missing screws. Even more missing screws. This could be a nightmare. Oh well. It's just the HDMI port. How bad can it be? And what do we have? Well, a melted Ethernet connector. So, and some cold solder joints on some legs. And over here, oops, I hit the microphone, sorry. That looks like where somebody's, have they run jumpers? Okay, let's get at this inside under the microscope. Well, here we are inside at the workbench. We are ready to take a look at this up under the microscope. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Oh wow. Wow, that's horrible. I wonder what kind of solder that is. It just looks so rough. Nice short there. Just rolling around. Just a little solder rolling around. Oh, these pins are moving. But some of them are making contact. Oh, you know what? Look at here. Remember that our 5 volts measured 7/10? Well, if you look right here, here's the fuse, 5-volt fuse. Through here, a diode with a hole in it, of course, that's also turned the wrong way. If I can get that in focus. See the band for the cathode right here? So that's been, I guess, knocked off and installed backwards. So that's shorting our 5 volts. I think it does have a hole in it, doesn't it? I think that is a hole in it. That little diode's doing all it can do. I don't know how much current this thing can supply. Probably like an amp or so. It's a tiny regulator up here. Let's see if I can show you that. Where is it? There's that regulator. It's pretty small, and I have to look it up to see what it's rated at, but they're not. It's not obviously not a high power device. But anyway, that little fuse is doing, a little diode, I mean, is doing all it can there. These other diodes look like they're in there correct, but now these pins, and I'm not sure, but I think some of these filters may have opened up. We'll check those. Let's see if I can flip this over and look at the other side of the board. There's been a lot of heat over here too. Let's see if I can get this in focus. Where is it? Here we are. Okay. Sorry, my microphone keeps hitting the board. I don't see anything missing. I see these two resistors are like 2K ohms exactly. I think that's like there's a 27K ohm and a 22 ohm down here somewhere, and I get them mixed up. I think that's another Zener right there we need to check. And there's a regular, a standard diode here. And everything seems to be there. I don't see any missing components, but we just need to check these and see if they've opened up. And there's not the best joints in the world. So yeah, the port needs to come off as at least a starting point, and we'll go from there. It's a whole lot easier to replace that Zener now without the port in the way. So let's do a quick check on this thing. It was measuring 7/10, like it didn't short, but it sure looked like it had a hole in it. Yeah, I'm still measuring 7/10. So she didn't die. Oh, no, I don't see the hole in it now, so there must have been some flux or something on it. She's still good. She's just backwards. Because as you can see, the 5 volts from here, it's just going to go right to ground. This is ground over here. So, did not blow the fuse, luckily. How about these other? Yeah, that one's good. That one's good. Now, I'm wondering about some of these coils. Good. Not shorted. That's good. Good. Not shorted across it. And good. Alright, this is looking good so far. Aww. And then we're bad. Half of it's good. That half is opened. Good. And open. Yep. So half of this one right here is bad, and this half of this one is bad. So I'm going to need a couple of filters. A small price to pay. Flip that diode around, put a new port on it, and I think we'll be there. Well, let's look under the microscope and see. Let's see if that did any good whatsoever. Let's see. Only my second time trying the drop-in method there, so bear with me. Nope. I mean, I'm close, but I didn't quite get it down in the back, you can tell. I think we can fix this, but if you look, we're down on the, as I face your left side, but we're still up on the right side. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. So we are, of course I'm going to spin it around when I do this. So, on my left side here, if I can get this back in the shot. So close. Try that again. I need to just put a little pressure on. That's what I need to do. Just a little bit of pressure at just the right time. Doesn't have to move far, I may not see it. Oh, I think I saw it move a little. It moved, Jerry. Okay. It did move slightly. Now, back under the microscope. What do we do now? That's better. Better, but I'm still going to touch those pins up. That pin 1 does not look great to me. I mean, it may be tacked down, but I think we can do better. I think we can do a little bit better. So only my second time doing that drop-in method. I think I did better the first time. Some of these need a little bit more solder to them. If I can do that without, shorting 2 of them together, bridging them, which is something I like to do. Not really. Oops. That's not going to end well, is it? That big old blob of solder. Not going to end well. A little too much. I think this is the first time I've used my micro pencil in a video. Haven't had it long. I find it useful for these HDMI ports and the occasional SMD component. But other than that, I mean, it just doesn't have enough heat output, not enough mass for anything else. Okay, what do we have now? Where did the port go? There it is. Okay, that'll work. Just need to get rid of a ton of flux. So let's do some cleanup maybe and see what we have. Well, the port is down and it looks pretty good, but I was just doing some checks with the breakout board and things are not good. I think somebody tried to replace the HDMI output IC because I'm not getting any readings. Let me show you. If I put my red probe on ground, and I'll just switch to diode mode. Right here, this connects into the IC here. I should get about 0.5 volts. Nothing. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Going across. Here, 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 here. And of course the filters are all good. There, there, and there, there. None of the filters are open. Not that that would matter, I'm just pointing that out. I mean, It would matter if I was checking from the port side over here, but I'm not. I'm checking right here on top of these filters, which goes in a straight tray. So this thing is not soldered down. That's what I'm saying. Like this, I'm sure lands right here, but there's no connection to the IC. I wonder if I can touch that pad on the side of the IC right in there. Nope. So anyway, it looks like the HDMI out IC is going to have to be removed and either replaced, or I'll probably just try putting this one back down and go from there. But so yeah, this was more than just a port replace. Somebody had replaced that output IC. Well, we're partially reassembled back out here in the garage, and we are ready to see if we've done any good. 50-50 chance. I don't have a hard drive in it. There was no hard drive with this one. I don't even have the Blu-ray drive in it right now, so I can't turn it on by attempting to put a disc in. So we're just going to use a screwdriver and bump the little contacts of the switch. I think I'm all hooked up. Let's see what happens. Anything? Oh, okay, we have 720 by 480. So hopefully we'll get a logo. We're at the white light. We should go into safe mode. There's no hard drive in it. I'll be happy with that. Well, she did something. But yes, you should be in safe mode right now. It knows something's there, but there's no video. So I think we still got a bad connection around that IC. What I probably should do is just pull that IC back off. I tried to touch up. I pushed it down, heated it and pushed it down, but I did not pull it off completely and re-tin all the pads. I should have done that, I suppose. That's probably what it's going to take. Yep. So far a partial failure. Well, I decided to do a few voltage measurements before I took it back inside of the workbench, and I wanted to show what I discovered here. If I can manage to get everything in the shot. Okay. Pin 20 on this breakout is ground. The 5 volt should be on 18. 4.5. Of course, that signal was being shorted by a diode earlier, and it may have damaged it, because just from past experience, 4.5 is not enough for this to work. I've seen one with 4.75, and it refused to work. Changed out that regulator, got it up to 5 volts, and it was perfect then. So I may try that regulator next, because 4.5 is just way too low to work properly. Well, we're back out in the garage. I have changed out that 5 volt regulator for the HDMI port, and I think we're ready. If I'm gonna break out board, we're just going to see if that 5 volts has come up yet. Go ahead and turn this on. Get our meter ready to go. Ground. And what do we have on pin 18? 3 volts. We are going backwards. What is going on here? Okay, what take is this? I don't know. I took the board back inside and was playing around with the regulator, feeding voltages into that regulator. It's a low dropout regulator, so 6 volts in, it'll easily give you 5 volts out. But it has an enable line, so I was playing around with enabling it and checking the voltage out here on the port. I was getting like 2.5 volts or something, and I'm like, how can this be happening? In what world would that thing put out 2.5? Because I couldn't find anything shorted, nothing pulling it down. And then it finally hit me. The fuse. The fuse was open. I never checked it. I've checked those in the past. Those things are very tough. They very seldom fail. I think it's a self-resetting type of fuse. And I don't know if I've ever seen one fail before. Well, maybe once before. So I did not check the simplest thing, which was the fuse. And the fuse was open. Open, I guess, high enough resistance that you're getting just leakage through. That's what the meter was reading, was just some leakage that was coming through that thing. So now let's try this and see if we can at least get safe mode up. Takes forever when you're watching it. We have the white, as soon as I pan down, there it is. All right, so we have the white light. We have video. Hallelujah. Okay, well, I think we're going to be good after this. I got to come up with a hard drive for it. Make sure the Blu-ray drive works over here. Some of the ribbon cable pins were bent. I straightened those back out, laid them back down flat. That'll give you some weird symptoms if those fold back. This is how it detects when you've inserted a disc or not. So weird things happen if those are bent back. So, but I think that's going to be the end of this video. That looks very promising. We'll find a drive for it, put some software on it, and I think we'll have a working system. I hope that was entertaining in some way. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next repair. Bye for now.